My background is I'm a marketer, so I did a master's degree in marketing in Bristol, and then I went to London and I did marketing for a company called BCA, which is part of Bertelsmann. Book clubs, 5 from 50p if you remember those, in the Sunday papers years ago. Went from there to Lego. I did various different jobs for Lego. I was well, first of all I made computer games for them, then went on to look after partnerships for the UK, and then became brand manager for Northern Europe. Switched across to Legoland. I was marketing director of Legoland, and then on the back of that I came down to Cornwall to do the same job for the Eden Project, and now I'm freelance and do some coaching as well. Thad was introduced to me through a mutual friend. I think somebody he'd met through the Chamber of Commerce locally, and we met in Truro, had a coffee and just hit it off, I think. My first impressions of Thad were really about his intelligence and perception, I think. It's always fun having conversations with Thad, so I think we quite enjoy meeting up for coffee, and before you know it, the time has flown by because it's just so interesting. The first project I worked with him on was actually Jurang, which was it's an email marketing organisation in Cornwall, and I was a non-exec director of the company. We knew we wanted to do some rebranding and represent how the company comes across. Offered Thad the opportunity to pitch, and he won it quite easily, really. So I asked Thad whether he would help me with my branding for my own strategy company that I run, my own freelance strategy and coaching business that I do. I knew from the work that I'd done with Thad previously that how he approached it and the quality of the work I was going to get. I was really impressed with how he responded to the first brief I saw him come back on, and he was head and shoulders above everyone else. The thought that went into it, the quality of the presentation, and I just wanted some of that for my own business. So I asked him if he'd help me with that, which he was very happy to do. I'm glad to say I was not disappointed. That same quality that I saw when I first met him was there in the work that he did for me too. What I was looking for was really almost a partner in trying to sort it out for me. I mean, I think one of the great things about Thad is, very often you can get too close to things, your own business. He won't just take a brief and give you something, nuts and boltsy back. He will think it through and play it back to you. He'll ask what you're trying to achieve, so he'll work with you, and I think that's what makes it so great. It felt more like a partnership. He was a creative partner helping me sort a few things out in my own head, and I think that's where the benefit really came. I think the impact from Thad's work has been, first of all, helping me to professionalise and behave more professionally. It sort of feels different because it's got a Thad Cox piece of branding behind it. It's not just something that's been knocked up. I sort of feel differently about it because I know a really talented guy has thought long and hard and helped bring this to life for me. And I think just the presentation that I've got now is just head and shoulders above what it would otherwise have been. So I sort of get very positive responses from the things that I do, and obviously the work is coming in, so that's great as well. I think the main problem that it's helped me solve has been about articulating what my offer is and presenting it in a way that connects with people, which I think is at the very heart of marketing. So, if Thad can help you with that stuff, then everything else should follow, really. So I think that's the main thing, and presenting it in a way that I feel is reflective of me and I feel very confident about showing to the world. I do think the relationship has been quite a partnership, really, and I think with creative people you don't want to be too prescriptive. You want to, I think the skill of anybody, and sometimes people need help with this if they're not a marketer by trade, is in crafting that brief and getting that right, and then allowing an intelligent creative person to respond to it, and that's what you get with Thad. I've got no interest in telling Thad I think things should be like this or like that. I just want to give him some space to play in and then see what he comes back with, and I think that's been really rewarding. I think that's my role in the partnership, if you like, is to sort of give him some boundaries, the old freedom of a tight brief, and then see what he can do within that, and it's always amazing. For me, the thing that Well, there's all sorts of things that make Thad stand out, but the two that come to mind is one is his intelligence, and that and what you get back. He doesn't just knock something up. He will think long and hard about it, and when he presents it back, he will show his workings almost, his reasoning as to why he's done things in a particular way, and it's very hard to argue against them because he'll have thought them through in such detail. And I think then there's the quality of the presentation, and what you get back is of such a high quality, and even the documents he creates for you are beautiful objects in and of themselves, and the application of the work he's done so you can see it in context. The way he then takes it through, I think, is unique, really. Well, I would definitely give him the opportunity to pitch, and I would imagine he'd probably do a pretty good job of convincing you to use him. You won't be disappointed with Thad, you will be impressed and amazed because he will go above and beyond your expectations. So you should certainly give him the opportunity to respond to your brief, I would say.